from the beginning. So we have written Torah, right? We will discuss from the beginning. So Rashi was living in medieval times, right?
Yes.
So before Rashi we have a lot of things. So we need to discuss what is written Torah, what is oral Torah, and how they work together, and then we can talk about Rashi, because he comes after these two things.
Yes.
So in the written Torah we have Tanakh, Heilige Schrift. Should be here on the shelf. I don't see it now. Here. So we have Torah.
Ketuvim.
Navim and Ketuvim, yes. So this is our sacred book, and it's holy to us. What means holy? Holy means that we cannot change the text. So the text is holy, and we try to live our life according to this text. So in order to live our life according to this text, we need to learn this text and understand the ideas, rules, values, laws. Yes, so this is holy text. And when it was written, so it's a lot of many years ago. So we have. So it started on the mountain of Sinai, right? So it was more than 3,000 years ago. And then we have later books about the kings and prophets and so on. So it's first temple and also second temple, I guess. So Ezra, Nehemiah, it was already second temple, right? So the last book is Divrei Yamim, but Divrei Yamim is like the repetition. So Nehemiah, yes. So Nehemiah is the last book, I guess.
I thought one of the prophets.
Nehemiah. Yes, so we have prophets, so it's one question, the last prophet. But after prophets, we have a lot of books, yes. And in Ktuvim, the last book is Nehemiah, and then we have Divrei Yamim, so it repeats the history. So this is the written Torah. And then we have the oral Torah. So we need to understand what is oral Torah. So in oral Torah, usually we distinguish two topics, two chapters. One chapter is Halacha, and the second chapter is Haggadah. So Halacha talks about laws. So what we should do, how we should act, in which situation, which decision should we make. So this is Halacha. It is clear more or less what is Halacha. And the second part of oral Torah, it's not that specific. It's about Midrash and Haggadah. So what is Midrash and Haggadah? So it's like stories. So we come into Russia. So this is stories about heroes that we already know, for example, from Tanakh, right? So Haggadah can tell additional story of Abraham. So in this holy text, we have history of Abraham, and it's very fixed. It's very limited, right? We don't have too many information. We have very short text. But in Midrash can tell us additional stories about Abraham. So Midrash can say that when this event was happening, actually something additional took place also, and Midrash tells this story. For example, from previous Parashat Shavua, famous story about Abraham with these idols.
Yes.
Because I was at 2 lessons last week, and people was talking about this story, so I decided that I need to check how it was written in original. So I'm trying to find it here now. Should be here. I have so many files. Lech Lecha, Historia Avrahama. History of Abraham. So I don't know if you learned. Rashi should bring it somewhere. Yes, Rashi brings this history, but I don't remember where. So we can use this example, if we can find it in Rashi, in previous Parashat. Yes, I remember. It's not on Parashat Lech Lecha, it was in Bereshit 11:26. Let's see. So with this example, we can try to understand how Rashi works and how Midrash works and the dynamic between them. 26. So we have Lech Lecha, and Lech Lecha begins with Lech Lecha. So we can think that Lech Lecha is the beginning of the history, yes, but it's not the beginning. So the beginning in the end of Parashat Noach.
11 what?
11:26.
Okay.
So this is history of Terach. Terach, this is father of Abraham, right? So Terach have not only Abraham, Terach have also additional children. ויהי תרח 70 שנה וילד את אברהם, את נחור ואת הרן. So Terach have 3 children. Abraham, most likely this is the first, Nahor, second, and Haran. Find it?
Yeah, I'm looking what maybe they say to this. Okay? No, I'm following you.
Because if you're looking, so you need to find 11. Yes, you need.
Yeah.
You need to put 11, and then 27. ואלה תולדות תרח, תרח הוליד את אברהם, את נחור ואת הרן, והרן הוליד את לוט. So the history of Terach, that Terach gave birth to Avram, to Nahor, and to Haran, and Haran have also child, Lot, also famous character, right? So now 11:28. וימוד הרן על פני תרח אביו. So Midrash goes to this pasuk, בארץ מולדתו באור כסדים. So with Haran, we had a special case, because usually who dies first, the father or the son?
The father.
The father dies first, right? So, but with Haran, it was exception that Haran died al pnei terach aviv. So it means that Terach saw how Haran died. So Haran died before his father. בארץ מולדתו באור כסדים, where he died, in the land that he was born, Ur Kasdim. This is famous place. So here, so now we can learn Rashi, right? Kafchet, Rashi on this pasuk, al pnei terach aviv. So I have Rashi here, you can open here. He brings every Rashi, or only
Some selected.
some select. So let's see, for example, here, what bothering Rashi? Understand Rashi. I like this American approach, very structured, very simple, that everyone can understand. Parashat Lech Lecha. Here. This is one page. So he doesn't talk about it. No. So he skips it. Okay. Doesn't matter. So I read because we have. We have 2 Rashi.
Pardon?
In your book, you can also. No, we have only one Rashi. Okay. So this is the only book that have commentary of Rashi, full.
Which they got in this week he made in Haran.
11.
12,
11:26.
5.
Before 12.
No, he's just commenting about 12.
Okay. So we read Rashi. Al pnei terach aviv. So al pnei panim. Panim means face. Al pnei on face. If we translate it word by word, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Rashi explains bechayei aviv. So this expression means bechayei aviv, that this person Haran died while his father was still alive. Umidrash agada. So now Rashi brings Midrash Agada Bereshit Rabbah from a compilation of Midrash, the book called Bereshit Rabbah, Midrash Rabbah. Yesh omrim she'al yedei aviv met. So there is one explanation, quotes Rashi from Midrash, that this person Haran died al yedei, because of his father. So this is the beginning of the history. שקבל תרח על אברהם בנו לפני נמרוד. קבל, I'm not sure what means קבל. So it was the conflict between Terach and his son Abraham, and in order to solve this conflict, Terach came to Nimrod. Nimrod was king, and what was the grund, the history of this conflict? Because Abraham kitet, destroyed Tzlamav, the idols of Nimrod. Right, this is famous story, and because of this, Ishlicho lekivshan ha'esh. So because of this story, Nimrod threw Avram to this kivshan ha'esh, oven with fire, burning oven, and Haran. So the story goes about the reaction of Haran to this story. So we know that Avram was not harmed because of the fire, but Haran was watching on it and thinking. So Haran was thinking, Im Avram notzeach ani mishlo. So Rashi brings Midrash very short. So if Avram is winning, then I belong to Abraham. So it's before the decision. So
and if you die, I won't go like this.
So Haran watching how Avram goes to the oven, and Haran doesn't know how it will end. So Haran have doubt. Maybe Avram will live, or maybe Avram will die. So if Avram will win, so he doesn't say win. He say win, doesn't say live. Notzeach. So it's like a battle, struggle between this king and Terach, and between Abraham, young and fragile person here. So if Abraham wins this battle, this challenge, yes, we can say challenge, Ani mishelo, then I belong to Abraham. Ve'im Nimrod notzech, but if Nimrod wins this challenge, Ani mishelo, then I belong to Nimrod. So this is conflict between Terach and Nimrod. No. So on one side we have Terach and Nimrod, on other side we have Avram, and we have person in between that not sure which side to take, Haran, right? So it's triangle. וכשניצל אברהם, אמרו לו להרן משל מי אתה? So after Avram came out of this oven, so he was alive, then people asking Haran, משל מי אתה? So who are you? Who are you? So who owns you? משל מי אתה? אמר להם, הרן משל אברהם אני. So Haran saying, I belong to Avram. So what then? ישלחוהו לכבשן האש. So if Avram was saved from oven, and this Haran says that he belongs to Avram, so it means if you throw Haran to oven, so he also will be saved, right? This is logic behind this. But Haran nisraf. It was unexpected result. Haran was burned and died in this oven. So this is the story of Midrash. Vezehu ur kasdim. So this is how Midrash tries to explain this expression ur kasdim. So why it's called ur? So ur is connected to fire. So this is why it's called ur kasdim, because of this story with the fire. So this is this approach. So I don't want to call it problematic, but we have a question, right? Why this place called Ur Kasdim? We don't know. So the text doesn't explain. So Midrash comes and Rashi and tries to offer you explanation for something that text doesn't explain. So we can say it like a hole, emptiness, right? So we have a story, and within the story we have detail that is not explained, right? So the name of this place is not explained. So Midrash comes and explains why the place called Ur Kasdim, why it's called fire, because it was this history of Terach and Nimrod, and Avram was thrown to the fire, and he was saved, and then Haran was also thrown, and he was not saved. So this is why this place is called Ur Kasdim, right? So we have the story of Midrash. So what the story is telling us? This is the main question about Avram and Haran and Nimrod and Terach. Do you understand the story?
I guess it was problematic that he made it like he was thinking if he wins, he make it conditional, that he was not loyal from the beginning, that he says, okay, I'm with him, so I'm blindly loyal. So because in the story of Daniel,
interesting.
we have the same, that his comrades also get in the...
With this alliance, right?
Yeah, with the alliance. And also in the Oven against.
Maybe, I remember
and they stayed with him. And they weren't touched. And...
so the whole group was saved.
Yes.
That time. So why they was saved and why Haran was not saved?
I think because they were from the beginning. They said, okay, we stay, we trust you, we stay loyal with you, and he made it conditionally. So if he wins, I will be with him, but if you lose, I go with Nimrod.
So Haran was, it's like, how it's called, opportunist. So he looking for opportunity to win. So he doesn't have his own position, he doesn't have his own identity, he's just trying to find a good time and good place to grab a win. But he doesn't have his own path, right? So Abraham has his own path, and he have his belief in God and his identity. So this is what gives him strength, and because of this he was saved from the fire, right? But Haran, he was trying, how you say it in English, make believe, to pretend that he also have faith, but he doesn't have faith, and because of it, he was not rescued from the fire. Very interesting story. Okay, so Rashi doesn't finish here. So Rashi brings first explanation what means al pnei terach aviv. So it means at the life of his father, and then he brings this Midrash Haggadah that his father of Haran, Terach, they came together with Avram, with Haran to Nimrod, and because of this story, Haran died. So Haran died because of his father, basically. So his father has a conflict with Abraham because Abraham destroyed his idols, and in order to solve the conflict, Terach came to Nimrod, and also Abraham came, and also Haran came, and this conflict was solved in a way, trial by fire, right? So Abraham was saved, and Haran was also checked with this trial, and Haran was not saved. So because Terach brought his sons to Nimrod, so because of this, his one son died, because of Terach, right? So this is Midrash. Yes, you want to ask? Please.
But in the story of the golden calf, of the eagle, and where Moshe Rabbeinu was bargaining with God, that he said, no, take me, get rid of my name of the book of life, but save them, forgive them. And then he's answered, no, every man is guilty and will be punished for his own sins and failures.
How is connected?
Yeah, because you said...
But there we have a nation and the leader of the nation. Here we don't have nation, we have persons, right? We have the person of Abraham, and we have person of Haran. So Midrash compares. So there is no someone else that is standing for him, right? So Abraham stands for his own and his belief, right? But then we have Haran. So Haran can follow the path of Abraham and his belief, or Aran can pretend that he follows.
Okay, yes.
This is the history. So
Yeah,
the
okay.
Midrash wants to say us that if you have belief, it saves you. But if you pretend that you have belief, so it will not save you. And maybe it even will destroy you. Yeah? This is the idea of Midrash. But after Midrash, Rashi brings the additional explanation. Umenachem ben Saruk peresh ur bik'ah. So Midrash tries to explain this name Ur Kasdim. But at the times of Rashi, it was other, it's not Rabbi, it was like a scientist, I don't know, person that learned Tanakh, learned Hebrew. It's called Menachem ben Saruk. So he have his own explanation what means Ur. Yes, so it's not connected to fire. Ur means Bik'ah. Bik'ah is when you have two mountains and between them valley you have, so it's called Ur. And Rashi brings two quotes from Tanakh, from Yeshayahu, Ba'orim kabdu Hashem, B'chen meurat tzefoni, kol chor ubeka amok karui or. So when we have something deep, so it's called Ur. So if you can find there, between the two wood planks, the hole, so you can also call it Ur.
Okay.
So it's the explanation of Menachem. So it's really confusing, in my opinion, all this, too many explanations.
What would solve this if this means like valley or crack?
So the question of Midrash, Midrash trying to explain the name of the place, Ur Kasdim. So Midrash thinks that Ur means fire.
Okay.
So Midrash doesn't understand why you should call a place or a city for fire, how it's connected to fire. So Midrash suggests that the name of the place connected to this history that Midrash
I would go
tells.
with this because in Bamidbar, in Parashat Bamidbar, we're reading all the places where we went, and instead of saying what we did wrong there, you remember what?
Masei.
Is it Masei? I thought it's in Bamidbar.
Also in Dvarim, it repeats again.
Yeah. And if we take this, like if we should learn this from there, that places are connected to the history of what happened, I would go with Ur means something with fire, with the story.
It's a good idea, but there is one very strong question. So, my question.
Yes.
If this... So this is a very core question. If this history really took place, what Midrash tells us, then why the written Torah doesn't tell us this story, right? This is a very core question that we can discuss it. So this is the question about Rashi. So we have the written Torah and the oral Torah, so what's the dynamic between them? So what is the main and what is the secondary? So, of course, we understand now that written Torah is the first, and then comes the oral Torah. This is how we used to think, right? So we have holy text that we received from God with the help of Moshe and the mountain of Sinai, and additionally, we have oral tradition that comes to explain the text. This is the classical understanding.
Maybe that we say the written Torah is like the trunk of a tree, what guides us, okay? And we go to understand what happened and have like the line where to go. And the oral Torah is like the branches.
Very good idea.
What goes from there to explain better, deeper, or in different layers what we can also learn from there. Because I heard very interesting, if we say Torah means like guiding or the word Torah, yeah?
Yes. Lehorot is to give instructions.
Yeah, instructions. Why we have the book Bereshit? Because in Bereshit there's no two instructions at all. You understand? But we have a lot of moral lessons. What we also should learn from this. And historically that we say, okay, God created the world and then he gave Eretz Israel to us and this and that, and that we can go back to this. But if we just say this is a law book, then the book of Bereshit is not very useful.
Yeah, so it's the question how you understand instructions. So you can understand instructions very narrow way, that's it's law and rules, but you can understand more wide. So instructions, when you teach, for example, kids, you cannot just say you should do this and not do that. You need to tell the story. People will start listening to you, and then you can say what they should do and should not. But you need to start from the story, right?
Sure. And what is your approach, the dynamic between the written and the oral?
Oh, yes. So I wanted to use this example. So Rashi quotes Midrash. So our teachers teach us that we need to check the sources every time, right? So I would like to open this Midrash that Rashi quotes, and in modern Hebrew, in modern books, a lot of the times you have the quote. And we have so many information today, so it's very easy to go to Sfaria, for example, and open this quote that Rashi quotes. And even, for example, if you learn with Sfaria, so you can open Rashi, and there is a direct link from Rashi to this Midrash, for example. So it's very easy. So let's open, for example, Tanakh, Bereshit. So we have now 11:26. Yud Aleph 28. Oh, so I have Mefarshim. I open Rashi. Open Midrash. Bereshit Rabbah. Oh, here we have it. So I need to open it more wide. Oh, the only problem that sometimes Midrash is in Aramaic language, so it can be difficult to learn. So even if you know Hebrew, but Aramaic words, so it's like Gemara. To learn Gemara, you need to learn Aramaic. So Hebrew is not enough, right? I thought you was open as Sfaria. You can open in Sfaria if you like. Sometimes they also have translation. Maybe they have translation for this Midrash, for example. But source with translation, let's see.
What we have?
We have translation. So we learn now this place. So you can open this place in Genesis, Bereshit 11:28, and you can open Rashi.
11.
So we was learning this pasuk, Vayamot Aran al pnei terachiv. So it's pasuk 28, and we was learning Rashi on this pasuk 28.
28. Haran died a lifetime of his father.
Oh, yes, so you can open Rashi on this pasuk.
Commentary.
Rashi.
Rashi. His father, meaning during his father's lifetime, the Midrash explains that he died through his father. For Terek accused his son Abraham of Nimrod of having smashed his idols to pieces, and he kissed. Abraham waited and said to him, "If Abraham proves you okay, it's true, the name of the place of the fire of Chades alludes. Menachem ben Surka will explain. Ur means valley of Isaiah. Glorify ye the Lord in the valleys. And as Isaiah in the of the Basir, every hole or deep cleft may be called Ur.
Okay, so now we would like to check the source of Rashi. So
Genesis Rabbah 38:13.
Yes, so you can open this link if you know how to do it. Initially I was Googling and I found this article in Wikipedia.
Yes, I have it.
So they say that in Quran there is also similar story about Abraham. Okay, so let's learn the story of in Midrash that Rashi quotes, and let's see. Maybe the quote is a little different. Maybe it's longer or shorter. Just we need to check
Rabbi here, grandson of Rav Ada of Yafo, Terach was an idol worshipper and a seller of idols. One time he went away.
So let's read it slow with in original. So Vayamot Aran al pnei, you can follow. Vayamot Aran al pnei Terach Aviv, Rabbi Hia bar Brei de Rav Ada de Yafo. So Yafo, it was the city where Tel Aviv now, yes, and it was some Rabbi Hia bar Brei, the grandson of Rav Ada from Yafo. And so he was saying something. So he was saying the story. Terach ovet tzlamim haya. That Terach was serving idols, tzelem. Yes. Chad zman, one time, nafik leatar. So Terach needed to went away. Oshiv laAvraham mocher tachtav. And he asked Abraham that Abraham will sell these tzlamim, these idols, instead of Terach, right? So we already see that Rashi doesn't bring this detail. So we can understand that Rashi quotes very short. Yes, so it's interesting to learn the whole Midrash in order to understand the meaning. Hava ati bar enesh by the Isban. So it was one person that came and wanted to buy idols. Hava amar lay. Bar kama shnin at. So Avraham was starting small talk with this customer. And Avraham asked him, how old are you? Hava amar lay bar chamshin or shitin. So a person is answering, so I guess they didn't have a passport, so they cannot say for sure. So the person answering 50 or maybe 60-year-old. V'hava amar li, vai le lehahu gavra de'ava bar shitin o vai lemizgat levar yome. So Avraham was making, I would say, punchline, yes? So Avraham was saying, vaile, so it's like, oi for this person, oi vei for this person, that he is 60 years old and he wants to bow to something that only one day old. So the person became uncomfortable, confused, and left the store. So basically, Abraham was in opposition, right, to his father. So his father asked him to sell idols, and instead, Abraham was not only not selling, but also convincing people not to buy. So it's a very interesting history. So it have dramatic value if we're talking about literature or theater. Chad zman ata chad itata ta'ina bida chada pinach the solid. So one time, another customer came, and it was a woman. And in her hand, he have pinach the solid. It's clean.
Flour.
Yes, wheat flour. Amra le relach krev kadmehon. So it's like was a showroom, and you can do some cultural program. And this woman asked Abraham that he was make an offering, korban, for the idols with this gishenk. Kam nesiv buklusa biyadei vetavrinon lekolhon psilai. So Abraham accelerate the conflict. So he doesn't start to talk to this woman, but he made performance, I would say. He took buksala, so it was some weapon, maybe hammer, instrument biyadei vetavrin lekolhon psilai. So Abraham destroyed, instead of serving idols, he destroyed all the idols. Very, very strong act. We have buksla bida the rabba the hava beinehom. So he starts from aggression, but now we see that he is not only aggressive but also clever, because Avram took this hammer in his hand and put it in the hand of the greatest idol between them. So it's like he wants to show something from it. So he prepares for the meeting with his father. I don't know what happened to this woman. Most likely she ran away because she was afraid, because Avram goes crazy, right? And starts to destroy, anger. Kivan de'ata avuha amar le man avid legon kedein. So of course his father was very angry because he was planning to sell the idols and to receive a lot of money, most likely. And so his father asks Abraham, who did everything, all of this to them? Amar lei man yichpor minach. So Abraham saying, I will not deny the truth. Right? Atat chada itata teina, so the one woman came, la chada pinar desolate, and this woman have this wheat, so Rashi doesn't quote all of this. V'hamart li, re lach krev kadamehon. So the woman said, please bring before them this offering. Krevat lekadmehon hava. So here's the trick. So Avram saying that I brought this offering. Yes. And what happened next? Hava dein amar ana echol kamayim. So one idol says, I will eat this offering first. V'dein amar ana echol kadmayim. But the other idol disagreed and says, I will eat first. Kam hadein rabba de hava beinehon. The south buklsa vetavrinon. So what happened next? So the less tolerant between them, that doesn't want to discuss, just took this weapon and destroy all the rest. So this is why all the idols are destroyed. So Abraham explains to Terach what happened while Terach was away. Amar lei ma atama fle bi. So Terach didn't believe the story. So what are you talking to me? Because they don't understand. So Terach doesn't believe that these idols can fight with each other because they don't have consciousness, right? Amar lei velu yishmu oznecha ma shepich omer. So now Abraham trying to influence to his father that maybe his father doing something wrong, serving idols. And he doing it very careful, right? So Abraham saying, it would be good if your your ears will hear what your mouth is saying. So now Terach saw that he doesn't have authority above his son, so Terach decided to go to Nimrod. Maybe Nimrod will punish his son, and his son became more послушный, so he will listen to his father. Amar lei nizgot lenor. Oh, so now very interesting history that also omitted in Russian. The discussion between Nimrod and Avram. So basically it's Act 2 in this play, right? Amar lei Nimrod. Nizgot lenor. So Nimrod meets Abraham. And Nimrod suggests to Abraham, let's bow to fire. Amar lei Abraham, v'nizgot lemaya de matfin nora. So Abraham saying that Abraham have like a counter suggestion. So instead of serving fire, maybe it's better to serve to water. What's the logic behind it? Because water is stronger than fire, because water, how you say it in English, destroys fire. Matfin nura. Amar lei Nimrod, nizgot lemaya. So it's very funny story because the characters are very precise. So we have Abraham that tries to follow the logic, and we have Nimrod that doesn't care basically, right? So Nimrod says, okay, we can serve to water, it doesn't matter. Amar lei imken nizgot la anana detain maya. So basically this story making fun of this king that doesn't have identity, doesn't have agenda, yes? So Avram, so who rules who? The king rules people, or people rules over the king? So because Nimrod agreed to serve water, so now Abraham have other idea. Imken nizgot la'anana detain maya. So where we take water from the rain. So the rain comes from the clouds. So instead of serving water, it's better to serve the clouds because the source of water is clouds. Amar lei nizgod la'anana. So Nimrod agrees to serve to the clouds. Amar lei imken nizgot lerucha Dimvadar Anana. So basically, Avram is battling this idea of pagan culture and trying to find the one God that is the source of everything, right? So Avram saying, maybe it's better to serve the wind because wind blows and this anonym, the clouds coming, right? So if not the wind, we will not have the water from the clouds because the clouds will be somewhere in another place, right? Amar lei nisgod lerucha. So Nimrod agrees to serve to the wind. Amar lei v'nisgod levar enash desavi lerucha. But Avram questions maybe the wind is not the strongest in the world because we can see the people are walking and the wind is blowing, so people are stronger than the wind. So maybe it's better to serve a person that can stand in front of wind. It's a very strong punchline. Amar lei milin at mishtai. So if you know the context that the king was positioning himself like a god, right? So in this discussion, Avram questions the power of. So basically, the Nimrod have his power by himself, right? Not because some god above the king gave him power, but he's just a person that can stand in the wind, nothing more than this. So because of this punchline, so Nimrod was angry. Amar lei milin at mishtai. So you talk words. Ani eini mishtachave ela leu. I'm serving only to fire. Arei ani mashlichecha betocho. So because of this, I am throwing you to the fire. Yavo Elohe she'ata mishtachave lo. V'yatzecha heimenu. So Nimrod feels that Avram has his own new God that no one knows. So your God that you serve him will come and save you from fire, which is my God. Very interesting. Oh, so now we come into the story that Rashi quotes. So Haran was there. Avakaim plug. And he was listening to this discussion. Amar ma nafshach im natsa. So, and so what we can expect that because Haran is also the family of Abraham, so and Terach came with his sons, so maybe Haran will be thrown in the fire. But Haran was very calm, and his calmness was based on what is called manavshach. Manavshach, it means that in when two possible scenarios and every scenario is good for me. So it's called manavshach. Im natzach Avraham, if Avraham is winning, Ana Amar, I will say, min Avraham Ana, I'm from Avraham. V'im natzach Nimrod, and if Nimrod is winning, Ana Amar, I will say the Nimrod Ana. I will say, so it's basically whose side you are, right? So we have conflict between Nimrod, which is like official legitimate power, the king, that thinks that the fire, this is the god of the fire, he's the strongest, and we have the opposition, rebellion against the king, against Nimrod, which believes some new god. So it's important in these cases to know whose side you are. At least people are asking, right? So Avram went to this fire and was saved. Amrin lei the man ad. So people asking, so who you are? So you support the rebellion of Abraham, or you more conservative and you coming from Nimrod? Amar lehon min Abraham ana. So of course, because we see that Abraham is winning, so Haran said, I am from Abraham. So people wanted to check if he actually from Abraham. And he thrown him into fire. So he was burned. and he was falling off dead from his fire. Al pnei terach aviv. So his father saw all of this history. Hadahu dichtiv. So this is the history in the written Torah. Vayamot Aran al pnei terach aviv. That Aran is died al pnei terach aviv, on the face of, in front of the face of his father Terach. So this is the end of Midrash. Very interesting story.
This was the first. What is it called? Abraham had 10 trials.
Nisyanot. So it's.
Is this the first one?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's one of the trials. Yes, it's one of the trials.
I have some question.
Yeah, please.
Do you think Abraham, according to this Midrash, did this by purpose? That it ended like that, and the story went by this because she also could stay with his example and said, okay, the clouds are better than the water, and then the wind is stronger than the clouds. And then he could say the trees are stronger than the wind because they stay. And then he could follow the fire is burning the trees. And then we had a whole circle.
Oh, interesting.
You understand? Or even with the rock, it would work because the rock is stronger than the wind. Because it's
immovable.
But lava, magma, is hotter and can melt it, but water will, and we had the circle, and then.
So you're saying Abraham was not neutral. He have some agenda that he was.
Yes.
He have a message that he want to say, and he was using this discussion in order to prove his point.
Yeah, to lead to something.
He was not neutral.
Yes. And the other point is because you said Abraham came with this new God, what nobody knows, but isn't Nimrod the creator of the Tower of Babel?
Tower of Babel. So of course I'm adding some
timeline. I have
explanations.
problems because it's written Nimrod is the nephew of Noah.
Yes.
But Noah
was before Tower of Babel, right? If I remember correctly. So what's the question about the Tower of Babel?
No, because then Nimrod knows this new God.
No, so just people starting to talk new languages, and because of this, they couldn't build the tower. So it was like natural process, right? So you have culture that developing. So people live here, people live there. So these people talk French, and these people talk Deutsch. So they cannot build the tower now, right? So it doesn't. So we don't have the information that Nimrod knew about the God, right?
But don't think it's like a divine intervention? So if they build a tower and suddenly they can't understand, they can't understand.
So it's very big history about the tower. We need to learn.
Look, in 10:8 we have in 10:8.
If you want, we can learn about the tower.
No. I don't want to
very big story.
I don't want to learn to turn the tower. I just want to know the Völker.
The tower. Let's see about the tower.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I thought it was.
So because you came with this book about Rashi, so I was just wanted to use this example in order to understand how Rashi works with Midrash, right? So we can discuss about it.
No, it's okay.
So we see in this Midrash there is.
I just wanted to say that in my view, Nimrod should know the God of Abraham.
Yes, it was my commentary.
Okay.
We see that Nimrod was fighting against the God of Abraham. He was not believing in this God. Yes, this is what we see. So, okay, he was known. Okay.
Because I think
I just
introducing this, he was mighty in the eyes of the Lord or something in English it says.
He was, yes, it was the quote. Yes, you're right. Okay, maybe he knew. It just was my expression.
Okay, but now we have the other commentary with the crack or with the well. We don't try to.
So we see that Rashi brings three possible explanations, right? Yes. So we have this history, this midrash. So midrash is very long, if you compare it to what Rashi quotes, and very beautiful story with a lot of details, right?
Yes.
But Rashi doesn't quote the whole midrash, and the question is why. So this is very big question. What is the purpose of Rashi? And so maybe Rashi just the simple explanation that people doesn't have midrash. So we now have very big amount of information. It's compilated. We have internet. We have libraries. But I can suggest that maybe in the time of Rashi, not everyone have this midrash. So Rashi just wanted that people will know about this story. So Rashi just shortly quoting the story. This can be theory, but overall we need to understand. So in the next step that I wanted to discuss is about pshat and drash. Pardes. Yes, I'm just trying to find a specific commentary of Rashbam, because Rashbam wrote commentary after Rashi, right? So most likely, and I know it.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for specific commentary.
Which one?
I don't remember where it is. So Rashbam.
You know something of this?
It's on Parashat Toldot. Parashat Toldot.
No, the commentary
Rashbam.
of Rashbam about.
So Rashbam relates. He have like opinion about commentary of Rashi. So if I would have in the book,
Rashi.
I would find it easily.
And it's about Drash.
But Rashi.
No, but it's about.
Yes, Pshat, Drash.
And
Yes.
it's about Drash.
So first we can just talk about some introduction. So there is Pshat and there is Drash, right? So this is big. So first we need to understand what is Pshat and what is Drash, and then we can discuss about Rashi and Rashbam. Yes. So anyway, we need to talk about Pshat and Drash, and it's not that simple. So yes. So it's not the beginning of Toldot. It's about the history. Yaakov and Esav, yes? So we need to find the beginning of the history of Yaakov and Esav, and then there is this Rashbam. This is what I remember now. Oh. Okay, so what do you know about Pshat and Drash? Maybe you know something?
I just know the introducing story that there are 4 layers and how to understand Torah.
Layers.
It's the Pardes, Pshat, Resh,
Remez,
Remez,
Drash, Sod.
So, and there's the story of 4 people who went in the Garden Eden. And
Pardes.
In the Pardes.
Not Gan Eden.
Pardes. It's. And one went crazy. One became a heretic. One died, and the only one entered and left was Rashi. No.
Rabbi Akiva.
Akiva.
Rabbi Akiva. It's in the time of Talmud.
Akiva. Yes,
Not the time
and
of
because he didn't took anything of the garden out.
So it's very different story.
Yeah, okay.
So I just wanted to talk about Pshat and Drash.
And I know
It's not about Pardes. Pardes, it's the whole big story by itself.
Is this something what you...
Yes, 37-2. Yes, so this is what I was looking. 37-2. Let's open Rashbam on this part. Let's try. Tanakh, Genesis, 37. Oh! Commentary, let's try. So Rashbam should be here.
Intelligent people must remember that our sages taught us.
Yes. So this is the
all different methods. The novels may legitimately explain in a manner which contradicts the plain meaning
Rashbam.
of the text. Where
Oh, yes, so this is it, thank you. I just find
means
it.
of illusion.
Yes, so it's very long, it's very long.
Tongues,
Yes, so this is very core question about the text and the midrash. So the order should we the question should we make introduction or we just read it? So pshat, yes. So basically, we can say that pshat, it's what's written in the written Torah. This is pshat. So the Rash, it's what oral Torah teaches us, right? So the question is, what's the dynamic between pshat and between Rashi? So of course, they both are legitimate understanding of the text, but the question, what is the main thing and what is the secondary? And we can look at it in two different ways, at least, right? So when we read the text and we learn pshat, what the story tells us, so this is pshat. So this is first thing. And then additionally, we have midrash. So this is like historically correct how we understand it. But the problem that we have halacha, right? So halacha mostly we learn from oral Torah, right? So we have a lot of laws that they are in oral Torah. We have some laws in written Torah, right? But most halachot from oral Torah, right? So it leads us to think that what is more important to us is oral Torah, which is drash, right? But then the written Torah, which is pshat, is secondary, right? So we have this contradiction. You understand?
I'm following you.
Yes. So the question is how to look at it. The pshat is more important or the drash is more important? So this is what Rashbam will talk about. So now we will learn this Rashbam if we have time. You have time?
Yes.
Okay. So Ele Toldot Yaakov. So we know that Rashbam is grandson of Rashi, right? And we know that Rashi wrote commentary on Chumash, on Tanakh, also, yes. And Rashbam also wrote commentary on Chumash. So it's interesting to understand Rashi, how he wrote his commentary, what bothered Rashi, and what was the questions that Rashi wanted to solve, and what bothered Rashbam, that he was not satisfied with commentary of Rashi, and he made his own commentary. So we can see the conflict. So it's very similar to this conflict, this Nimrod and Abraham, right? The old king and the new young son, the fathers and the sons, the classical conflict. El Toldot Yaakov. So Rashbam wrote a lot of words here. Yaskilu v'yavinu agavei sechel ma shelimduhu raboteinu ki ein mikra yotze midei pshuto. So first, Rashbam quotes a very beautiful quote from Talmud. Ein mikra yotze midei pshuto. So in Talmud, if you learn Talmud, you work with midrash mainly, right? You don't work with pshat in Talmud, because Talmud is about the laws, halachot. So we have a lot of halachot. So what is the main work in the oral Torah? It's also very important that we have written Torah and oral Torah. So in Talmud, in Mishnah also, they work a lot by connecting these two separate things, right? So we have separately the written Torah and we have separately the oral Torah. So how they connect it? So a lot of the work, a lot of effort in Talmud is to connect them together, if I can say this, to create this connection or to explain this connection, yes? So this is a lot of work in Talmud. So Talmud saying, so this law X, we learn from Pasuk Y, right? So this is a lot of law in Talmud. So after you learn the whole Talmud, you start to think about written Torah, that the main meaning for the written Torah is to justify the oral Torah, is to explain how you learn the oral Torah, right? So this is the, I could say, in religion, yes, in religion you can feel this approach that the main thing that we have is halachot, and oral Torah we need to justify the oral Torah, right? But also reacts to this approach and says, Ein mikra yotzei midei pshuto, that you should not forget that there is also the simple meaning, pshat, in the written Torah, and it's also the question how to understand this quote. So if we translate it word by word, so mikra, which is written Torah, ein yotzei, it doesn't leave midei from pshuto, right? So what it means, it doesn't leave. It's not clear exactly. It's kind of metaphor. Okay, so Rashbam quotes this quote from Talmud, and he says, "Yaskilu v'yavinu." So we need to understand ohavei sechel, people that loves wisdom. Ma shelimducha raboteinu. This quote that our sages told to us. Avki ikar shel Torah. Oh, so now Rashbam starts his speech. So the main part of Torah came to teach us ברמיזת הפשט והאגדות וההלכות והדינים ועל ידי אריכות הלשון ועל ידי 32 מידות של רבי אליעזר בנו של רבי יוסי הגלילי. Oh, so Rashbam immediately says that the main part of Torah is drash. Because, so we religious people, so we following the law, the halacha. So how we learn halacha? Halacha we learn from remizat pshat. So, by the way, you know how this technique works? For example, I need some halachic text. Sukkot. So, for example, I don't remember exactly. So, for example, Sukkot. So we need, how many walls we need for Sukkah?
At least 3.
3. How we learn it?
I just know by the word itself. How is it written?
If I remember correctly, the word Sukkot written in the Chumash 3 times. So because of this, something like this. I might not be exact. So because of this word written 3 times, so because of this, 3 walls is enough, which means you don't have to build the 4th wall, right? So this is halacha. So this is how the oral Torah works. So we have the law that it's enough to build sukkah to have 3 words, and additionally we have remes. Remes, this is like a hint. So where you can find this law in the written Torah, you cannot find it, right? You can find it by the hint, remes. Oh. So this is what Rashbam is saying. So the most of Torah, the most of laws that we learn in this kind of hints, right? So the most of halacha, it's not written in the written Torah directly. So most halacha we learn with drash, with remes, with this kind of hints. V'hagadot, v'halachot, v'adinim, al yedei arichut halashon. Also the other type is arichut halashon. I cannot come as example. So sometimes the text is too long for halachic codex. So text repeats the same idea several times. So
like
for example, yes, I was thinking about milk and flesh. So it's also 3 times. Lo tevashel gdi b'chalev v'mo. Why it's 3 times? So we learn some law. I don't remember now. We learn some laws because 3 times and not 1 time. Okay. So it's called arichut halashon. So Torah could have said this 1 time, and because Torah said 3 times, so we can learn. So sages, our sages, in the time of Mishnah and Talmud, they learn additional information, additional law. ועל ידי 32 מידות של רבי אליעזר בנו של רבי יוסי הגלילי. So there is, it's called midot. So it's like a methodic, right? So there is methodics how you learn halacha from the written Torah. And each methodic have the name, and there is different lists of methodics. There is a list of 32 methodics that was created by Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yossi Aglili. But the more famous, you had the question about this list, I remember, because it was written in Siddur. It's called Shlosh Esrei Midot Rabbi Ishmael. Yes. So it's the list of methodics how you extract halacha from Mikra, from written Torah. Okay, so this is the main part of Torah we learn with Drash, not with Pshat. Yes. Varishonim. So Rashbam continues his lecture about this topic. מתוך חסידותם נתעסקו לנטות אחרי הדרשות שהן עיקר. So our sages, because they was Hasidim, which means tzaddikim, they was righteous people, so they was busy. They have this tendency to be busy mostly with drashot and not with pshat. Yes. ומתוך כך לא הורגלו בעומק פשוטו של מקרא. So because our sages was busy, so I can hear a little hidden criticism here. So because they was busy about drashot, so they was not learned a lot with the deep meaning of the text of the Torah. ולפי שאמרו חכמים אל תראו פניכם בהיגיון. Oh, yes, so it's a very big topic. So he brought additional quote. We need to learn it why, but the quote says אל תראו פניכם בהיגיון. So basically, the sages says you should not learn too much written Torah. Bneihem, your sons. This is the quote. So the meaning how much you should learn oral Torah and how much you should learn written Torah. So you need to define proportion. So this quote from Talmud that Rashbam brings that so it means that most of learning should be oral Torah and not written Torah, right? So this is the proportion that it's like the advice that our sages is giving, right? So this is one quote. Vegam amru, and more quote that Rashbam brings. העוסק במקרא מידה ואינה מידה. העוסק בתלמוד אין לך מידה גדולה מזו. We can learn historical context behind it and religious context behind it. But anyway, the quote goes like this, that osek. So it's like speciality, basically. If you go to university, you need to pick speciality, right? You cannot learn everything. So also, if you learn Torah, you can pick speciality. You can learn, for example, Tanakh, or you can learn Talmud. So you have a choice. So our sages was discussing which is better. So our sages says, the quote here, so if a person is learning Tanakh, it's good, but it's not the best. Our segment, but if the person learns Talmud, ein lecha midah gdola mizo. So there is nothing better than it. So I understand, of course, that it was in the context of struggling with the Christians, that they took our Bible. Okay. מתוך כך לא הורגלו כל כך בפשוטם.
There's like, it was written in Hannah, and they said, okay, God made everything perfect, and He gave us the wheat, but the human come and makes the tasty cake out from it.
Yeah, it's very similar. God gave us Tanakh and we made Talmud.
The Talmud.
Beautiful. ומתוך כך לא הורגלו כל כך בשנתה של מקראות. So again, because of this quote, Rashbam explains that our sages was not ragil, was not learning that much the stories about Tanakh. It was not their like speciality. They was busy in halachot. They was busy to prove that we learn halachot from Tanakh. It was not the invention of our sages, because this is what Christians says, right? That we have, we call it Heilige Schrift, right? but the oral Torah, Christians doesn't accept it, right? So it was struggle between our religion and Christian religion, but this was merged at the beginning. So because of this, our sages was very much, they was trying to put focus on Talmud and not on Tanakh, because people was learning Tanakh and was going with Christianity. Okay, Davrim Masechet Shabbat. And he brought a quote to prove his point. Havena Bartam Nisare. So one person in Talmud says that I was 18 years old. Vegarsinon Kol Talmud, and I learned whole Talmud. So he finished like university. And I didn't knew this rule that Rashbam wrote initially, that the Tanakh doesn't leave his simple understanding. So basically, this very interesting project about learning Talmud. So the sages that created Talmud, and they was teaching Talmud. So they was teaching Talmud, and they was working with Tanakh, right? But they was not learning Tanakh by itself, right? They was learning Tanakh because the source of halacha is in Tanakh, right? So it's like предвзятый. So they don't just learn the text because they was interested in text. They have specific, like agenda, right? They have specific interest in this text, and like prism. We use this metaphor of prism. So you can look straight, or you can use prism to look. So they was looking on Tanakh through this prism of halacha, right? So he was learning Tanakh because of halacha, and not because Tanakh of itself, right? So this is, Rashbam explains our culture of learning Torah, right? It's very important. Vegam Rabbeinu, vegam. So now he starts to work with Rashi. Vegam Rabbeinu, you want to ask?
Yeah, finish this. And
Vegam Rabbeinu Shlomo, avi imi meir einei gola. And also our teacher, Shlomo, avi imi. So he was the father of my mother, meir einei gola. So this is good, beautiful metaphor that you say about big rabbis, meir einei gola. It's hard to translate poetry, so we have eyes and we want to see, right? But we cannot see if not Rashi. Gola, so the whole diaspora. So he was the rabbi for the whole diaspora, and he made a commentary for Torah, Nevi'im, Ktuvim, Natan Lev. So what was the intention of Rashi when he wrote his commentaries for Tanakh? So his intention was lefaresh pshuto shemikra. So initially Rashi wanted to lefaresh, I forget the words, to explain the meaning of pshat, what the text means, right? Ve'af ani Shmuel bar Meir chotno, and also me, Shmuel, the son of Meir, choten. This is a type of relative. So okay, Zatzal. So Meir was the relative of Rashi. It's called Choten. I don't remember which type of relative. And Shmuel is the son of Meir. Okay, Nitvakachti mo. So this is the essence of this. What we're reading now. So Rashbam has vikuach. So vikuach, if you have a disagreement, right? So Rashbam was trying to prove something to Rashi, velefanav, and to people that was before Rashi, vehodali, and Rashi has agreed with me, says Rashbam, sheilu. So this is the most funny part. Sheilu hayalo pnai, that if Rashi had time, היה צריך לעשות פירושים אחרים. Rashi need to do other commentary. לפי הפשטות המתחדשות בכל יום, because every day you learn Tanakh, so every day you have different explanation, right? So Rashi needs to write new explanation, because Rashi learns Pshat every day, right? ואתה יורה משכילים מה שפירשו הראשונים. So it was the introduction to his commentary to this history of Yaakov and Esav. Yes. So basically this is the part that I was interested in. How Rashbam saw this commentary of Rashi. So Rashbam saying that the intention of Rashi was to explain the meaning of text, Pshat, but we hear that Rashbam thought that Rashi was not successful with this goal, right? And because of this, Rashbam wrote his commentary, and the commentary of Rashbam is Pshat, at least in opinion of Rashbam. And also Rashbam tells this interesting story that Rashbam was talking with Rashi about his commentary, and Rashi agreed basically that his commentaries is not Pshat. Right? This is what Rashbam tells with this story. Yes? So you wanted to ask something?
No, keep going.
Yeah, so this is the end of the quote. And then he talks about it because this history of Yaakov and Esav. So in Midrashim you see Yaakov as very positive person and very righteous, but in the simple meaning you see that Yaakov deceived his father. So this is the contradiction that Rashbam will work. So because of this he made this introduction. So we not learning this history now. Yes, so this is about Rashi and Rashbam. Yes, so this is very big question about this Rashi. So in today culture we have Rashi as a classic commentary that we learn, right? But it's important to understand that the text have his own meaning, and Rashi brings Midrashim that have their own meanings, right? But for me, this is the question: how Rashi helps us, right? So it's good that we have Rashi as a compilation of Midrashim, right? But if I'm interested in Midrashim, that I will go to learn Midrashim, right? So I don't really need Rashi. So this is the question why. And if I want to learn Pshat, so I can learn Rashbam, for example. So Rashi was like the beginner, right? So it's like the developing. If you develop something, so you have the first, you have the second, the third. So the first version is less optimized, right? But it became classic. So today Rashi is classic. So people use Rashi to learn Pshat and to learn Midrash. So this was the lecture for today about Rashi. Questions? So if you have the society that learns Rashi, so it's part of the culture, and you learn together, and you discuss, so it's very interesting, right? But if you don't have this society, so in Erlangen we don't have this society. Mm-hmm. So because of this, it's not that actual, like in Israel. Of course, everyone knows Rashi, everyone explains, so people discuss, today I learned this part and I don't understand, maybe you can please explain to me. And I went to Rabbi, and Rabbi explained to me, and I think it was not good to my heart, and then I went to other Rabbi and I said, and finally I understand this Rashi. So this is our religious culture that we have today in Orthodox society, right? It's very important to know. If we live in this society, so we can be part of it. Or we can create it in where it's omitted also. Yes, so this is my take on Rashi.
Okay, it's very interesting.
Yes. So when we learn, usually how I do, so I learn the story, how it is, we discuss a little bit. Of course, there are questions in the story, which Rashi works with it, and then we can learn this Rashi and that Rashi. So we don't learn all Rashi, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting to compare, to see how Rashi tries to solve this question or problematic, if there is one, and how Midrash, and it's interesting to discuss. Yes, it's very interesting. So this is how it works. I think it's enough for today.
No, it helped me a lot, because I have also this books. This one, yeah.
It's very good because it have original Rashi and translation.
And then I read always the commentary of Rashi, and then I understood less than before, because I was asking most of the time why Rashi is mentioning this or explaining me things what are pretty clear, because sometimes it's just adding 2 or 3 words, and I said, okay, what is the but always thinking about that Rashi is the greatest. You understand? And then I said, okay, if Rashi say it's very important, but now you make like, well, he's the classic, he's
in
like
Talmud,
the first
he's
one.
the greatest, yes, in Talmud, of course. And he made a lot of work. So he's basically, it's like anytime if you want to combine 2 things, basically, so you're not good at both, right? So there is the risk. For example, if you want to do which example can we bring? Some invention. So for example, we can use smartphone to listen to music and to watch movies, right? So you can also use a specific device for listening music, which is better, and you can use TV for watching movies, which is better.
Yes.
So if you have Rashi that combines Pshat and Rash, so Pshat is limited and Rash is limited. So it's the problematic of every compilation, basically, right?
Yes, I understand.
But people want to learn both Pshat and Rash, so they use Rashi to cover both tasks, both demands, right? But of course, if you want to go deeper, so you learn Rashi and you learn Midrashim that Rashi brings, you learn additional commentaries. There are so many commentaries. There is Ramban, Ibn Ezra, Sforna, a lot of medieval, also classic commentators.
Okay.
That also works with Pshat, and not only Pshat.
Just to try to make it short, okay? The biggest thing what I was thinking about, that you say, okay, he was trying to make a bridge gapping and Pshat and Drash is the famous eye for an eye and
eye for an eye,
teeth for teeth, because I think if you read it on the Pshat,
yes,
it's impossible to get this what is actually to be done on the Drash side, because it sounds very barbaric.
We learned it once.
Yeah. I know.
We learned it with you?
I guess we talked a lot about it. I don't want to open and clarify it. I just wanted to say, if I have to example about Pshat and Drash, this is what comes in my mind. That this is a very difficult passage.
Yes, but it's better. I just wanted to say that when we learn it, we understood it a little better, because it's about limiting, setting the border for revenge, right? So people want revenge, and they do in revenge. So we, as judges, we want to limit it, right? We cannot omit revenge. It existed, vendetta. So Torah is limiting, right? So it's called. So it's like some modern commentators, they look at it like an evolution, right? So the society was very barbaric, so Torah makes, in this context, a lot of steps toward being less barbaric. But the oral Torah goes further in this dynamic, in this direction, and they more, how you say it, humanism, right? And more and more. So it's not maybe some people doesn't ready to look at it like an evolution, but in a more academical, this book is very academical style. So in more academical style of learning, so they look at it like this, right? So we have more cruel times, and then we have written Torah, which makes society less cruel. And then we have oral Torah, which makes the society of the time of oral Torah less cruel, and so on and so forth. But today we have, again, less cruel, but because it's about this penalty. If you read written Torah, it's more cruel. And if you learn oral Torah, how these penalties are performed, it's less cruel. But today we don't have this penalty at all. So you can look at it like this. And of course, technically you can say it's contradiction between oral Torah and written Torah. I just remembered another quote my rabbi is quoting. It's called Halacha Okeret Mikra. So Halacha and Mikra we understand. Halacha is Halacha and Mikra is written Torah. And La'akor, it's when you have the tree or you the grass. You remove the grass with the root, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the priority. We have the priority of Halacha above the written Torah. Yes, it's very big topic, very interesting to learn. I just started because you bring this book about Rashi. Yes, but it's very important.
Yeah, I thought because I know I'm more from the Hasidic side, and we like
Hasidic. So it's another lesson.
And we like to talk about midrashim and spiritual things. And I know you are like you don't so much in this. And
I just didn't grow in this culture.
Pardon?
I didn't grow in this culture.
Yeah, that's okay. That's absolutely, and that's why many books what I have it's just about them. And then I thought today I have the classic, I have the Rashi, and I thought this is with the books what we can work or how we can
It's all about being like how to relate to the text, because text of Torah is very old, right? And you need to, and if we in religion, in Judaism, we want to practice this text, right? So we want to be connected with this text, but it's very hard to be connected. So it's also another explanation why we have all this midrashim, right? So midrashim, they creating additional stories, they telling you additional stories, and they bring you additional information that you can relate to the text, because in the text there are so many questions and it makes you harder to relate. So Hasidic is also solving the same problem, right? So you have written Torah, you have oral Torah and Midrashim, and still for a lot of people, like you can say simple people, not to offend the people, so for a lot of people it's hard to relate to all this cultural heritage that we have, right? So because of this is one of the reasons why Hasidism emerged, right? So in Hasidism, they rethink a lot of these things, right? So a lot of these things, they don't understand it in classical way. A lot of these things, they understand in revolutionary way, very different. So it's very interesting, yes. And also they're using Kabbalah for this new understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting to learn. Yeah, I need to learn Zohar, Kabbalah, yes.
You learn it or you have to?
I need to learn.
You need to.
I just, it's not my main, not my speciality.
Understand.
It's interesting. I was learning a little bit Tanya with my teacher, but he's not Hasidic, so
it's not even just Tanya, it's Chabad?
Yes. But his approach to learn Tanya is very academical.
Okay.
So we learned some ideas from Kabbalah, but his interest is more academical, how it's emerged, and he's looking the sources of Tanya in places that people usually doesn't expect, in Rambam, in Midrashim. So he's just interested about ideas. So the ideas that we have in Hasidism, in Tanya, how they emerged, how they evolved, and he's trying to find similar or their ideas in previous books, in Moreh Nevuchim, in earlier Kabbalistic books, or in Midrashim. Very interesting, but the lessons usually very long, like 2 hours. So, yeah, I was listening a lot, but not all of them.
Okay, understand.
Yes. Heilige Schrift. Okay, so we have Kabbalat Shabbat tomorrow at 6.
Mm-hmm. But Shabbat always
Shabbat starts earlier.
Very early. And last week, Christina and me, we were so tired, and we thought maybe we come and we learn a little bit and discuss, and then we see, because Shabbat already starts almost at,
Because also the time.
4:26.
Yes, because the times switched also. So we 1 hour earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's see, people writing a lot of things, maybe something interesting. Shalom Shabbat. Okay, what a waste of time.
Pardon?
I'm just reading what people wrote before I finish this. Yeah, it's very interesting paradox because we want to use old book in order to understand how to live. So for modern people, it's a little paradoxical, because if you want to know how to live, so people asking, you better learn from modern books and not from ancient. It's an interesting question.
There is this is where I think when kashrut is introduced, what animals to eat and what not to eat, and then it's saying we don't eat the pig because this and that, and then we don't eat the camel because of this and that.
Yes, so written Torah says because of its tameh.
Exactly, and then there was a commentary why Torah is picking up these two animals. And then it's saying we don't want to be the pig like the Christians. Okay.
No.
Because they don't chew the grass, and they don't keep traditions, and they always forgetting where they're coming from. And this is what symbolizing the pig. And then we don't want to be like the Muslims, the camels. They don't involve. If you go there in their countries, they're like in the 17th century. You understand? We are like in between, we're going with the modern times, but we never forget where we're coming from.
I didn't heard about it before.
Pardon?
I didn't heard about
Maybe
it.
It's Hasidic. This is what maybe is the answer that you have, that the Torah is forever because you can apply it and to modern times. But the other ones, they stick where they were written.
No. It's a very big topic. It's a very big topic. So it's just the question. It's the question where to learn. Yes, where to learn. So the question, what you want to know. This is the question. I just don't understand what this person wants to know. How to live. So this is the question of culture, right? We have culture. So today culture, it's based on yesterday culture. So if you learn yesterday culture, so you understand better today culture. So it's everything connected. Right? The old book is not disconnected from today.
Yes.
It's just harder to make this connection between older books and today reality. It's you need to know.
For example, for me, it is very written what is written before, that I do my approaches based on what they have already done.
Yes, correct. I agree. It's interesting this trend that sometimes people asking for money. We live in Germany now. What's your religion? Our religion is Judaism. Language. Our language is now English. Christian people should read Talmud. Interesting suggestion. Hello from Russia with love.
But what?
Why? I don't know. Maybe to understand Judaism. От меня что требуется, куда нести деньги? How do you feel about Russia? I feel bad for Russia. Кому ты это говоришь? Okay, so, להתראות. Auf Wiedersehen. Shalom, shalom.